Hey guys, my name is Kevin. I'm one of the exercise specialists with the West Primary Care Network, and today we're going to be going through more advanced exercises that we usually teach in the second half of the program, like cables, knee extension machine, and stuff like that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys two different exercises that you can do using the cable machine. So cable machines are good. They're kind of a version of free weight exercises because they're wobbly. So I tell people these work your wobbly muscles. So in the setup, we need to be able to put these handles on. I've already got that one on. This is called a carabiner. You just open it up, clip it on, pretty simple. And the other thing we want to do is you can move this pulley up and down. I would just make it about your chest height. So for me, we're gonna go about there. And there's numbers engraved on the inside of this, so you can see, you can be sure that it's the same height on both sides. From there, I'm gonna set my weight, make sure your weight's the same on both sides. And we're gonna start with the chest press exercise. So the chest press this is a chest exercise. It's for pushing forwards and together. So what I'm gonna do, what people do wrong is they go like this and then they pull the weight out and they really struggle with that. So what I tell people is kind of give yourself a hug, walk forwards, and then take a big step forwards, 1 foot forward, 1 foot backwards. Let your arms come out to your armpits and then push forwards and together. Back to your armpits, forwards and together, back to your armpits and forwards and together. So I try to get people to think about bringing your elbows towards each other. That's actually, bring your elbows towards each other is what your chest muscle does. As my upper arms are wide, upper arms come together. Upper arms are wide, upper arms come together. You're gonna find that you're pretty shaky and wobbly with this. That's okay. This is an unstable exercise, so it's kind of meant to be that way, okay? So that is the chest press. When you put it down, I don't want you to put it down like that. That's hard on your shoulders. Once again, I would just walk it back. Give yourself a hug and walk it back. And then we don't have to open up our shoulder to that possibility of any tears. So this is the standing cable row. So all we need to do is turn around, grab the two handles, and then walk back a little bit. I like to sit down just a touch. And then basically everywhere inside of my armpits should stay stable. From here, I'm gonna pretend like there's a string on the back of my elbow. Pull your elbows back, squeeze your shoulders together and forwards. Elbows back, squeeze your shoulders together and forwards. Really important you get that shoulder squeeze. I wanna see vertical lines in the back of your shirt. So it should look like this. And if I see vertical lines, that's great. This would be cheating or not using the right muscle group. Is if your elbows come back, but you don't get that motion, okay? So that would be the standing cable row. Set it down nicely. And yeah, that's it. So this is the other version of the lat pull down. This is called the Dual-Pulley lat pull down. Obviously there's just two pulleys. I find a lot of people have difficulty when they pull down with that bar. They tend to want to go forwards. And when I use the Dual-Pulley, people just don't do that. And it's a little bit more free, and most people I show this to, it feels better. So you just need to set up the two handles. Sometimes there's a big bar on it, so we need to attach that guy in there. But once you're on, move this thing so it's just completely out of the way. You're not gonna need it. Grab the two handles and sit down, and then just goes like that. Your arms can move independently. There's not really a need for that to happen. So just go up and down as you normally would. And once again, keep your hands pointed to the sky. I don't want to see you pulling down like that. That's your rotator cuff. So going like that. And then the alternative for this is if you want to, you can sit on it backwards. Some people have difficulty sitting on this low chair height. So I'll tell people sit on it this way. Grab the two handles, slide your butt down, and then you can do that just as good. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. I want you to feel this in this muscle back here as well as in here too. Okay, so that's the Dual-Pulley lat pull down. So the dumbbell shoulder press, just grab some weights that are appropriate for you. And basically all we need to do is bring it up to shoulder height. Inside of the dumbbell touches about the tip of your shoulder, the inside of your arm, roughly is your starting point. Push up to the sky, back down, touch your shoulders. Up to the sky, back down, touch your shoulders. You can either have them kind of facing vertically like this or wider. Doesn't make a huge difference to me, whichever feels more comfortable for you. So some people are like, should I hold like this or like this? Whichever one's more comfortable. I like to go at like a 45-degree angle. I find that the most comfortable, but whatever works for you. Okay, so let's dumbbell shoulder press. Okay, so this is the leg extension machine. So leg extension is going to work strictly the quadricep. This is called an isolation exercise. So we're isolating the quadricep muscle. There's a lot of setups that I'm going to go through. There's 3 different pieces. One of them is moving your seat forwards and backwards. It's a handle behind here, just to make sure that that one's going to control so that your legs are just dangling off the edge. So that's kind of the start. And this adjustment makes so that your legs hang off the edge. Secondly, what we're going to do is on the farther handle, that controls this guy moving forwards and backwards, just so it rests on the front of your ankles. And finally, this guy here controls how high or low that sits. So I want it to just sit in the groove between where my leg meets my foot and the tip of your ankle there. For me, that would be about there. From here, I'd just like to sit back, set your weight, and then you can always start. I like to start with 2 legs at a time, forwards and backwards, slow and controlled. Personally, I like to do a one-legged. I would rather cut your weight in half and have a lower weight and do 1 leg at a time. What that does is it prevents your dominant leg from helping your non-dominant leg when you're doing the knee extension. So do a bunch with 1 leg and see how many you can get. If you can do more than 10, less than 20, that's perfect. If you can do more than 20 repetitions, then it's going to be too easy for you. Yeah, and then do that, and then switch legs, and you can do that side as well. And once again, if you develop any knee pain when you're doing this, don't do that. If you're getting any knee pain when you're doing this, then stop. And that is the leg extension. Okay, so this is the seated leg curl or hamstring curl. So on the back of your thigh bone, you have your hamstring muscle here. There's a lot of setup that goes into this one, so stick with me. So first of all, I want to set up this back seat. We'll move forwards and backwards depending on how long your thigh bones are. You want to set it so that there's this little red dot here. You want it to be, your knee should be in alignment with that red dot. What that is, that's the axis of rotation, so that your knee is kind of in the center of where the machine is rotating from. Next, we're going to set up how long your legs are. So this guy is shorter or longer, depends on how long or short your legs are. I'm somewhere in the middle, so we'll put it about there. The other adjustment on my right side is how high or low you're going to start. So if I'm doing this exercise starting really high, that's on E, on the biggest one. My knee is almost hyperextended. I don't want you to start that high. Probably A or B is the setting on here I would want you to start at. So I'm going to put on both my legs there now that I have 3 out of 4 of them set up. And finally, this guy, just set it on top of your legs. And then from there, pull straight back and forwards, pull straight back and forwards, slow and controlled. And that is the hamstring curl. In order to get off, I would certainly take this guy off. I've seen some people try and get off with this thing pinned to their legs. So if you just take that off, then you're pretty much good to go to get off from there. Okay, so that's been everything that we do in our supervised exercise program. Thanks for watching.